There's something uniquely unsettling about hearing a voice from the dead. A strange, impossible echo from a place that should be silent. They say the line between life and death isn't always as clear as we imagine it to be, that sometimes a message can break through the static. This is the story of a man who received one last voicemail from someone who, by all accounts, shouldn't have been able to call him. It was 2:47 in the morning when the world was quiet, draped in the heavy blanket of a moonless night. Ryan's phone vibrated once on his nightstand, a brief, jarring intrusion into the stillness. He didn't answer. He just lay there, listening to the silence that followed, a silence that felt deeper than before. It wasn't until the next morning, as the pale light of dawn crept through his blinds, that he saw the notification. One new voicemail from Mom. A simple message that made his blood run cold. Because his mother had been dead for 6 months, he sat at his kitchen table for what felt like an eternity, the phone heavy in his hand. His thumb hovered over the play button, his mind racing through 1,000 rational explanations, each one more absurd than the last. A prank? A system glitch? With a trembling breath, he pressed play. The voicemail began with a hiss of static, a digital fog that slowly cleared to reveal a faint voice, a whisper from the other side. "Ryan, please don't go down there." It was her voice, the familiar cadence, the gentle tone, but it was warped, thin and trembling, laced with an undercurrent of something that wasn't quite human. Then came a sound that didn't belong, a sharp metallic clank like something heavy being dragged across concrete, a sound she couldn't have made from 6 feet under. Ryan dropped the phone, its clatter on the floor echoing the noise from the message. This had to be a sick joke. But when he finally found the courage to check the call log, the origin of the call was listed as his old house, the one he grew up in, the one that now sat empty and forgotten. He hadn't been back in years, not since the funeral. The drive felt surreal, each mile pulling him further into a past he had tried so hard to leave behind. Rain began to fall, smearing the world outside into a watercolor of grays and blacks. The house stood just as he remembered, a dark silhouette against the stormy sky, looking more like a tomb than a home. Inside, the air was thick with the smell of dust, decay, and damp earth. He walked through the empty rooms, his footsteps echoing like ghosts of memories. When he entered his mother's old bedroom, a space frozen in time, his phone vibrated again. Another voicemail. Same number. He pressed play, his heart pounding against his ribs. This time, the voice was clearer, closer. "You shouldn't have come." The message continued, a string of distorted warnings, but Ryan wasn't listening to the phone anymore. He could hear it. The same voice, his mother's voice, was echoing faintly from below the floorboards. It was calling his name, a siren's song pulling him toward the basement door, a door he hadn't opened since he was a child. He followed the sound down the creaking wooden stairs, his flashlight beam cutting a nervous path through the oppressive darkness. And there at the bottom, lying in a thick layer of dust, was a phone. His old phone. The one he had slipped into her casket, a final sentimental token. The one he had buried with her. As he stared, its screen flickered to life. One new voicemail. He reached down, his fingers numb, and pressed play. And for the first time, the voice said something new. A chilling final statement. "You should have picked up that night." When the police arrived the next morning, drawn by a neighbor's call about an open front door, they found the old house eerily quiet. There were no signs of a struggle, no evidence of foul play. Just Ryan's phone, lying on the basement floor, its screen still glowing faintly. The voicemail app was open, and the last saved file, a recording left unsent, was titled simply, "Goodbye." They say sometimes the dead don't call because they need help. They call to warn you. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more tales from the shadows. Stay safe out there.